About sexuality, we're talking about getting what you want.
That is so not true, because I'm a woman, and I was 2 or 3 years old, and I
didn't
never
smile at your dad and
Nope.
say, "Daddy, please." You didn't get what you wanted. Come on, of course you did.
No, I never had that, and I think that.
Do you say "Daddy, please" now?
I didn't either. I never had.
Rarely.
I've watched little girls work their parents and work other men and get what they want.
And little boys work their parents and little men. I mean,
Well,
we're not talking about just one gender against the other.
Whoa.
I think that we do have to explain to young women and young men that sexuality is something powerful and something extraordinary. Now kids, 12-year-old kids are going into bathrooms giving each other right? It's like a big thing in California now because they don't understand
I've
how
re-enrolled.
powerful it is.
But
I think power, though, comes from the people who give it. I mean, King walks into court, he's wearing a crown. If no one bows, no one bows. It's the person, you know what I mean? It's everyone else that gives you the power. If you walk into a room and no one's listening, it doesn't matter, do you know what I mean? Like, it's people give you that power. It's not just the wink. I've seen plenty of people wink and I turn and walk away.
we're talking about you winking. We're talking about the power that the woman has. We're talking about the power that, more importantly, the girl has before she even understands the power. And, I think you fall into a trap a lot of people do when they try to equate the sexes equally. It's not the same for a boy and a girl. A boy does not have any sexual power. Unless you're in a boy band.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Or an actor.
No, I'm sorry.
Look at Hanson.
I'm sorry, but I have to bring this up right now. You have sexual power when you do something like this, okay?
Oh, jeez.
Now, this is such a beautiful picture of him with his shirt off. So, you know what? Men, but it's a good example. Men do have sexual power in a lot of ways. Or why would they do a beefcake issue?
Exploring your sexuality.
Well,
Bill. Shame.
Is that the beefcake issue? It's the beefcake issue, and he's... Yeah, Bill. There's your wink right there.
All right, but that's not really what we're talking about, is it, Joe?
It's not what we're talking about.
That's an,
But I had to bring
that's
that
an
up.
aberration. I mean, all the other guys in there are like 22.
But still, men do have sexual power over women. I mean, if you're attracted to a man, I mean, if a good-looking man walks by, I think, to me, it's just as like a good-looking girl walking by and winking at you.
No. But you're trained not to respond whatsoever.
We're trained?
Men, yes. You are brought up to not respond. Where men right away show it. They show
My
they
generation
respond.
is completely different. I mean, I'm 17. These girls, I mean, this issue is not even really brought up in my generation because women are taught to be whatever they want to be. They're taught to get, what they want to get by being a strong woman. And being a strong woman is not necessarily selling sex. I've never sold sex and being a strong woman. I
have your albums, and you have pictures on the cover.
I can be sexy, but I'm not. But I'm.
You can't tell me. Then why don't they put a picture of your house on the cover of the album instead of you?
Sexuality is certainly a big, a part of who we are as human beings, and something to be celebrated and enjoyed. And LeAnn
you're preaching to the converted here.
And for LeAnn to be on her cover, she's a sexual being. She's not exploiting herself sexually.
Exactly.
She's owning her sexuality.
That's not what she said. She said she's not selling sex.
Well, I'm not.
But your record company insists. If you said to your record company, well, you could get away with it because you have the power. But you have real power because you have real talent and people like to listen to your records. They like to listen to them.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but they still want that picture of you on the cover looking hot.
Well, absolutely. But like she said, I am owning my, my sexuality. It's not that I mean, I am selling sex in a way, but I'm not going out and exploiting myself.
Right.
To have to sell something.
Because
and I think that women,
ultimately.
Exactly, and I think
That's
women...
Jerry's job.
Yes.
I'm just kidding, but I have to take a commercial. We'll be right back.
Join us tomorrow when our guest will be from Saving Grace, Craig Ferguson, homeless activist Ted Hayes, and radio talk show host Rick Roberts.
All right, I guess we're talking about selling Sexuality. Well, tell me what you were saying in the break, 'cause that was interesting.
Saying that there's a difference between selling sex and
Yeah.
selling sexuality. Like just in the last few minutes when we were talking, we were saying, oh, well, you know, putting LeAnn's picture on the album or the movie
Right.
is selling sex. But really, it's prostitutes that sell sex. I mean, it's a different thing.
Well,
it's a semantic difference, but I mean, like, our movie isn't selling sex. I mean, literally,
Well,
because it's two-dimensional.
it's selling the...
It'd be very bad sex.
Yeah. And there isn't really even much sex in it.
No, it's a very sweet story, and the advertising tells you something different, but it's a wonderful fairy tale. It's really what the movie is.
Yeah.
It's about a girl who has a dream and reaches her dream through
Yeah.
inspiration from other women.
Yes, and how often do we see films coming out of Hollywood talk about empowering? And Jerry's done quite a few of these films. He's done Dangerous Minds and Flashdance, women-centric films, which are really rare, especially to see a film about a young woman who follows her dream. And that's empowering to see that.
But young women, I've sort of made a crusade about the way politicians talk about children in this country. Everything is for the children. It used to be people mattered in this country, but now if you want to stop people from smoking or clean up a toxic waste dump, whatever, it's for the children. We all seem to care about the children more than anything else. However, when they need a child as a model or an actor, they have no problem ripping them out of school and putting them up and corrupting them at the age of 14,
And
right?
the best-looking ones, too,
Yeah.
usually.
So, I mean, that rhetoric about children is a bunch of bull, right? I mean, how old were you when they started with you?
I started when I was 12 professionally, like say when I got my record contract. But it was my choice. It really was. I've always...
But can a 12-year-old really have...
Yes, they can. They really can. I mean, I've always been very mature for my age in a way that, I grew up with adults. I've been singing all my life. And my parents didn't push me. My dad and my mom have both been very behind me through everything. But they've never pushed me into doing this. So it was my decision. I kind of got caught up in a whirlwind of it when it all started happening. And that really wasn't my decision, but it just, but I don't think it, it was very interesting starting at that young of an age. It really was. But I think I definitely had a choice to make that decision on my own.
You wanted it, didn't you?
I wanted it. I've always wanted it.
But when
People
I was...
don't understand, though, how a 12-year-old can make that decision, but
I don't
can.
understand how, because I
I don't either, but I mean, I knew for myself that that's what I wanted to do.
Some kids are natural performers. She was a natural performer. She wanted to do it. She went out and did it. So it happened she was 12 years old. That's a fantastic thing. So many people are in the audience or watching us now, want to be singers, want to be actors, have no idea how to do it. She figured out a way to do it.
And have no talent to do it.
That's true, too.
That's the
That's a
problem.
different thing altogether.
We're talking about something
Right,
different.
but we encourage everyone in this country. That seems to be the only profession that has any merit anymore in America, is to go into show business, to be a model, to go to a high school, talk to young girls. What do you think they want to say they want to do? Doctor, lawyer? No. They want to be a model. They want to be a Spice Girl.
You're right.
Yeah.
I've interviewed kids all around the world about what they wanted
Really?
to do. Yeah, with their lives and their hopes and their dreams. And most of the kids here in America want to be models or actors, and the boys want to be basketball players. That's the way it goes.
Well, that's who they have
in other
to look
countries,
up to.
it's not true
Even the
because
white
the media
kids.
is different. Even the short white guys.
But isn't that wrong? Isn't that bad? Isn't that leading kids to something? I mean, we all know, we're all in show business, come on. A very, very, very slim amount of people can make it to the top, can even make it at all. That's why we have strikes, because 99% of the people in the union don't work anyway.
That's true. That's true.
Right.
So isn't that a rotten thing?
I don't think so. I mean, when you ask a child what they want to be, it doesn't necessarily mean what they're going to be. I didn't become a professional actress until after I graduated college. And there was a small number of students studying acting compared to the students that were studying business or economics or accounting. So I think it's a little misleading to say that, well, a 10-year-old wants to be an actor, but that's what they see on television. They don't hang out with...
Kids' dreams change like every
Yeah,
day.
once they're
They really
17
do.
and 18, it all changes. Then
Kids-
reality sets in.
kids' dreams
You got to
change.
make a
I
living.
mean, like, I remember wanting to be, one minute I wanted to be a doctor and a psychologist, and the next minute I wanted to be a singer, and then I'd go right back to wanting to be a dentist, and then, but then I stuck to singing because I knew I had a niche for it, I loved it, and I wanted to do it, so.
Well, you made the right choice.
Well, thank you.
Okay,
Sure
we got a
did.
break and come right back. All right, Coyote Ugly is the movie we've been talking about. Go see it. I laughed, I cried, I masturbated when I got home. Tomorrow we have Craig Ferguson, Victoria Rowell, Ted Hayes, and Rick Roberts.